Your owner's manual isn't written to get you to 500,000 miles. It's written to get you through the warranty with the fewest complaints. And that's why most cars don't make it past 200K without expensive surprises. Not because the engines are bad, but because most maintenance schedules are optimized for the sales pitch. Low maintenance, long intervals, easy ownership. Longevity is a different game. If you want a car that can realistically chase 300K, 400K, even 500K miles, you need 3 habits that prioritize wear control, heat control, and contamination control. They aren't complicated, they're just not glamorous. And they're the exact routines fleets use because fleets don't have emotions, they have spreadsheets. Let's get into the 3 habits. Habit number 1 is the 5K oil rule. Yes, you'll see manuals and oil life monitors that stretch oil changes far beyond that under normal driving. But most people do not drive normal. Real life is short trips, stop-and-go traffic, long idles, heat, hills, dust, cold starts. Exactly the conditions that beat up oil. Here's the part that matters. Oil doesn't just get dirty. It loses its ability to protect. As the oil degrades, the protective film gets weaker, and the moment that film gets thin enough, metal starts contacting metal. It's silent. No warning light, no dramatic noise, just wear stacking up in the background. A 5K interval with the correct spec oil and a quality filter is cheap insurance. Fresh oil suspends contaminants before they settle into sludge. It keeps oil passages cleaner. It supports variable valve timing systems better. And it reduces the slow, cumulative wear that shows up later as oil consumption, timing chain stretch, noisy lifters, and tired compression. 2 details that make this habit actually work. First, use the exact viscosity and specification your engine calls for. Not close enough, not whatever was on sale. Modern engines are picky for a reason. Second, replace the filter every time. A cheap filter is not a bargain if it recirculates debris. If you want to start with one habit this week, start here. Drop a comment. Are you going to run the 5K rule, or are you still trusting the long interval? Now, oil is only half the battle, because the next system can fail even faster, and when it does, the bill is not polite. Habit number 2 is transmission fluid discipline, because lifetime fluid is marketing language. When a manufacturer says lifetime, they usually mean warranty lifetime, not 500,000 miles. Transmission fluid lives a hard life. Heat, shear, and friction material contaminate it. Every time you creep in traffic, tow, climb a grade, or drive in hot weather, temperatures rise, and fluid degrades faster. And once the fluid degrades, here's what happens. Shifts get less crisp, clutches slip more under load, and slipping creates more heat. That heat breaks down the fluid even faster. That's the spiral. Degraded fluid leads to slipping, slipping leads to heat, heat kills fluid, and the transmission wears itself out from the inside. So what's the move? For most vehicles, a safe longevity approach is a drain and refill on a schedule, often somewhere in the 30K to 50K mile range depending on your vehicle and usage. Not an aggressive power flush on a neglected transmission. If the fluid has been ignored for a long time, forcing high-pressure fluid through the system can disturb debris and create new problems. The goal is gradual replacement, not shock therapy. And if you drive a manual transmission or you have differentials, gear oil matters too. Those components don't magically stay healthy forever just because they don't have a dashboard light. Habit 3 is the weekly heat soak drive. One steady 20 to 30 minute highway run. If your car lives on short trips, it may never fully stabilize operating temperature across the engine, exhaust, and drivetrain. That's how moisture lingers. That's how fuel dilution hangs out in the oil. That's how carbon buildup and deposits become a long-term pattern. One steady drive per week, consistent speed, steady RPM, helps burn off moisture, normalize temperatures, and reduce the short trip penalty that quietly ages engines early. If you're a city driver, this habit is huge. It's simple, it costs nothing, and it makes the car's life dramatically easier. Bonus rule, quick but important. Keep fuel above a quarter tank when you can. Many fuel pumps rely on fuel for cooling and lubrication, and constantly running low is a slow way to shorten pump life. So here's the full system. 5K oil changes with correct spec oil and a real filter. Transmission fluid serviced on a realistic schedule. Drain and refill, not lifetime. One weekly highway run to offset short trip damage. Most owners won't do this. They'll follow the longest interval, ignore the transmission, and drive short trips forever. Then they'll hit 150K, hear a noise, feel a harsh shift, and wonder why the car suddenly got expensive. But now you're not guessing. You're choosing longevity on purpose. Drop a comment. Which habit are you starting first? Oil, transmission fluid, or the weekly highway run? If you want more routines like this, simple habits that prevent big repair bills, subscribe to Car Repair Insider.